Hiker Jay here. This week we continue our van build series with episode 2. We're building out the walls this week. We're going to frame them, insulate them, and then also finish them off. And as an added bonus, we're going to show you how my son made some pretty simple window covers that insulate as well as black out the windows. If you're just happening onto these videos, last week we resurrected the Astro from the back of my brother's garage, and then we insulated and installed the floor. This week we're installing the walls, and next week we're going to build out a sweet little bed I'm super excited to make. So join us as we build out this van to get my son out on the road and hitting the mountain bike trails. So starting out on the walls, we build templates out of cardboard so we knew exactly how we wanted the walls to look. The goal for our walls is really to make flat walls made out of wood so that we can hook different things and build shelves and such. And then the secondary is to insulate it. So in the future, if my son really wants to insulate the roof and everything, the walls will already be done. So after a lot of talking and template making, we were able to finish off one side and learned a lot from that. So we're going to take you through the larger wall and share tips and tricks that we learned along the way.
Okay, so we finished this wall, but I want to show you the process of how we got to that point. So with this side, we started with adding furring strips, horizontal and vertical, and just tack those right to the metal of the frame. And then once we had those set and put everywhere, then we were able to add the foam board, and then there's also some foam board behind that as well.
So when it came to framing, we used furring strips. Now they're very thin, so you want to pre-drill them out before you screw through. We screwed them to the wall with self-tapping 1 1/4 inch screws. These worked really well because they'll actually go through the metal and tap in themselves, so you don't have to pre-drill the metal. But you do need to pre-drill that wood or else it will crack. So over here you can't really see very well, but we were just trying to tack it in with nails and it was sticking out. But now we do pocket screws right here. So pocket screws are made with a Craig jig. I'll put a link down below in the description so you can find one yourself. But these are really sweet, work out really nice. At first the Craig jig's a little funky to get used to, but it's really not that bad once you get a rhythm with it. And the benefit of taking the extra time is huge because it holds so much better than tagging it with just a nail gun. So Craig jig is a must. We were just toenailing with the nail gun and that was terrible. Now we've got these Craig jigs and it holds so much better for when we're tagging into this real thin stuff like this. Doesn't split. We're only putting 1. You could put 2, but man, that holds it really nice for basically putting our sheeting on the outside. Craig jig, a must.
The foam board on, it's just trial and error, figuring out how it fits. Like you can just add stuff for the gaps because it's not going to be perfect because the van's not perfectly straight. So it's just trial and error, fitting different pieces. With this, you know, you have to shave off some of this, and it's a messy process, but it gets you there. And then once you get all that done, you get all the foam insulation in, then you can tape over your seams as well, which just kind of cleans things up and helps some of the airflow there too.
So once we had the framing and the insulation in, it was time to do the finishing work. Now we used Luan for this because we didn't want to add a lot of weight to the van, and it looks really great. It's wood and he's just going to stain it anyway. It's a good thing to blue tape over top of it so that you don't get a bunch of chips. Here we're using a jigsaw, and it would have really kind of made the edges pretty raw. But the tape really helps keep the edges nice and clean. One thing you want to do as you're cutting it, you want to take it in and out and fit it every once in a while so that it fits just perfect and you have it cut just right. Now to tack the panels up, we used a finishing nail gun for this. We used 1 1/4 nails. They leave a very small hole, and of course you can wood fill that if you really want to. Now to finish off the edges, we used a router and some finishing trim just to make it look nice and clean. We're really happy with how these walls turned out. Now he's going to add some shelves and some bungees so that he can put some things. Having these flat, straight walls and insulated is going to be really great for him when he's on the road. To finish off the walls, my son made these window shades. They're used to black out the light and cut down on the amount of heat coming through. So basically just took paper like this, made the template out from the actual window. Once he had that, he took the Reflectex, laid it out, traced it around and cut it out, as well as the material. The material is like a blackout material. I understand that he has like the Reflectex on the other side, but he didn't want any of the silver coming through on this side, but it's really kind of a thicker material, which is really nice. And then once we had these 2 pieces cut, we took the 3M adhesive spray, sprayed down the Reflectex completely, and then laid the material down on it, put a board over top of it, left it for the night. And look at this, actually, it's heated and cooled down and heated and cooled down, but it is not coming apart. pretty nice. Now, just to finish off the edges, we were never sure we wanted to sew or whatever, but really he just got this black Gorilla Tape, put it around the edge, and it has stayed great. It actually helps with kind of like sticking it up into the seams of the window too for friction fit. The only thing you had to do on this one was cut these out for the windows. These are the side windows that kind of pop open with little levers. So we cut those out. Could tape around those, but it's worked just fine. So yep, blacks out the light from at night and definitely reflects back and keeps some of the cool in the car. Made them a little bit larger so they'd tuck into the seams and hold up just on their own. And to store them, it's real simple. He just folds them up and puts them in the back pouches of the front chairs. I hope you're enjoying this series as much as I am. Milo the van has turned out to be a really cool project. I'm so psyched to build the bed. That's next week. If you missed the floor, you can certainly check out episode 1. I'll put the link here at the end and down in the description for you. If you're finding this video useful or entertaining, if you could hit like and subscribe, that would be awesome, because it really helps me continue to make videos like this. Just remember, life's a hike, so hike happy. Join us next week as we build out that sweet foldable bed.